Dumbarton's RediFrame is unique, and the strong-as-the-wall design is easy to install. You only need a few simple tools: a tape measure, screw gun, Phillips screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, level, 1/8 inch or 3/32 inch spacers, a pry bar or wonder bar, appropriate screws and/or nails. Before you begin, be sure you are wearing appropriate safety PPE for your job site. The first step is to make sure the rough opening is correct. The rough opening must be taller than the frame net length by 5/8 inch in height and wider than the frame net width, 1 to 1/4 inch in width. We recommend checking the actual wall size to make sure you have the appropriate size frames. Wall sizes that exceed the throat dimensions of the frame can lead to several installation issues. Before installing the frame, open the package, remove the parts, and examine them for damage before you begin installing. After examining the parts, you want to check to see if the dimensions are correct and lay out the parts for installation. We recommend placing the hinge jamb beside the opening on the wall in the direction in which the door will swing after install. Take the header and place it next to the hinge jamb close to the opening. Take the strike jamb or other hinge jamb if it is a paired opening and place it on the other side of the opening, oriented just like the hinge jamb. Always make sure before installing that you have the frames oriented correctly by measuring the hinge and strike location. We are now ready to start the installation of the frames into the rough opening. Standing just inside the opening, take the header and sleeve the wall to put it into position in the opening. While still holding the header in place, take the hinge jamb and sleeve the wall with it, inserting it into the header. Now that the hinge jamb is supporting the header, continue supporting the header with your hand and take the strike jamb and install it the same way. Always make sure the jamb rabbets and stops all align properly. You are now ready to align the frame jambs and begin inserting the fasteners. Always insert the fasteners from the door side of the frame first, so the door can be used to align the other frame components. Start with pushing the hinge jamb toward the framing studs, leaving about 1/2 inch between the inside throat of the frame and the wall stud. Place one screw in the top fastener hole on the face of the hinge jamb. Take your level and make sure the hinge jamb is perfectly level in the vertical position, and insert a fastener into the bottom fastener hole on the hinge jamb. We recommend inserting at least 2 more screws spaced out, 1 per 2-hole pattern on the hinge jamb before proceeding to the next step. The next step is to install hinges on the door and frame. We will show a single and 2-person installation. If the install is being done by a single person, we recommend separating the hinges into halves by removing the hinge pin if they are removable. With the hinges separated, install 1/2 of the hinge leaf on the frames and the other mating half on the door. Keep the hinge pins in your pocket or somewhere easily within reach of the door opening. Align the door with the hinges on the frame and reinsert the hinge pins and close the door in the opening. This can be done using a wonder bar to lift the door or some other means of raising it off the floor so that the hinges align. If there are 2 people, you can just attach the hinges to the door using the screws that come with the hinges. Then screw the hinges to the frame. Once the door is installed, you can use it as a guide to square and gap the frame around it. Start by inserting a screw into the header on the door side. Make sure to pull the header down tight to the hinge jamb and that the end of the header aligns with the edge of the face on the hinge jamb. Use the fastening hole at the far end of the header above the hinge side jamb. Use a 3/32 inch or 1/8 inch spacer to go between the top of the door and the rabbets of the header. Then, go to the strike side of the header to place the next screw. Install the fastener screw in the end of the header on the strike jamb side. Using the same spacer used to set the reveal on the header, place it between the strike edge of the door and the rabbet of the strike jamb. Insert the screw fastener into the top fastening hole on the face of the strike jamb. You can now use the shim spacer to set the reveal down the strike side of the door jamb and insert the other fasteners. We recommend placing 1 screw per every 2-hole pattern every 12 inches to 15 inches along the face of the jambs and headers. Doing the install this way with RediFrame ensures that there is no need to refit the door, as the door itself works like a template for installation. The same fastening sequence is repeated on the other side of the frame, keeping in mind key point, which is to pull the header down tight on the hinge and strike jambs, and make sure the ends of the header and the edges of the strike and hinge jambs align with each other. Our door and frame are now installed, and the RediFrame is an integral part of the wall. We will now begin installing the casing. The first step of this process is to insert the casing corner clips into both ends of the header casing. These casing corner clips maintain a tight miter between the header casing and the jamb casing. Hook the header casing over the top of the center casing frame lance and snap it down. Slip the upright casing onto the casing corner clips that are in the header. Ensure when snapping the casing into place, always hook the casing over the wall side of the casing frame lance. Snap the casing in towards the door to secure. Before you go any further, check to see the header casing is centered on the frame by checking for an even margin on both sides. This is important for maintaining a tight miter. Always remember to install the casing from the outside of the frame inward. Catch the edge of the casing under the outside curl of the lance and roll the casing inward using a slapping motion from outside to inside. RediFrame can be ordered with steel or aluminum casing or without casing lances to allow the application of wood casing of your choice. When wood casing is to be used, it comes with a round clearance hole to which the casing can be screwed or nailed. The RediFrame installation is now almost complete. All that remains is to attach the lock set and the strike plate. If frames were ordered with RediFrame's adjustable strike plate, it is a two-piece assembly. To install, fully tighten the strike plate screws. There will be a rattle-free engagement of the latch by the strike plate. This means no more rattling interior doors when exterior doors are open. The RediFrame installation is now complete with minimum of time and effort.